Welcome back to the Flagship studio at the JP Morgan 2026 Health Conference. I'm here with the CEO of Repertoire Immune Medicines, Torben Straight-Nissen. Torben, thanks for joining us in the studio.
Thank you, Christine. Pleasure to be here.
It's great to have you. There is so much talk on the street about Repertoire these days. You've got partnerships. We'll talk about those in a minute. But tell me about advancements in 2025 that have brought us to where we are today. What's gone on in 2025 for Repertoire? What are you talking about here at JPM?
Yeah, so in 2025, we were fortunate enough to make advancements on two dimensions. First of all, with our partnerships, we entered into an important partnership with Genentech to develop tolerizing therapies for an autoimmune disease. We also entered into a second partnership in 2025 with Pfizer to develop TCR biospecifics for oncology. So those two partnerships were in addition, obviously, to the partnership we did in 24 with BMS. So that was one dimension. We're super excited to be partnering with these important organizations. And then the second dimension of advancements was to advance our first program towards clinical development.
Is this the DECODE program?
It was a TCR biospecific for oncology. We filed our IND in Q4. We got approval for the IND, and we just opened our first clinical centers towards the end of 2025. So waiting to now dose our first patients. So a lot of progress in 2025.
And talk about being at the doorstep of the clinic. When do you hope to see data, and what are you looking for?
Yeah. So we will generate a lot of important data in 2026. First of all, this is our first T-cell receptor molecule that we're taking into cancer patients. So it's directly into patients. We want to determine the safety, of course, of that molecule, and we'll have data to support that towards the middle of 2026. But then, even more importantly, we'll generate efficacy data. So starting to look at tumor impacts of this therapy towards the end of 2026 as well. So hoping to see data in 25, 30 patients at efficacious doses towards the end of the year. So really a transformative event and a number of milestones coming out in 2026.
A couple of questions for you. With everything going on at Repertoire, why this as your first clinical program, and how did you design the trial?
Yeah, well, maybe I'll tell you a little bit about, first of all, the platform, and then how we translated that into a program. So the DECODE platform, which is our proprietary platform, has been developed and industrialized by the company over the last 8 years. And what it allows us to do is to map the entire immune synapse, which controls our adaptive immune system. So we learn what are the epitopes that are presented on cancer cells, for instance, and we learn what are the T-cell receptors that recognize those.
Okay.
So what we did was we went into head and neck cancer patients and interrogated, are there particular epitopes that are presented on head and neck cancer? We found one, and it turned out that particular target is actually expressed on 9-10 prevalent solid tumors and expressed in up to 200,000 newly diagnosed patients every year. Wow. So we found this target using DECODE, which was super exciting. And then we found a T-cell receptor that recognizes that. We converted it into a so-called TCR biospecific, and that's the therapy that we're now taking into the clinic. We've demonstrated that we can potently and selectively kill tumors, that it's safe preclinically. So that now informs our clinical study. We will test this molecule in head and neck cancer, in lung cancer, and in colorectal cancer in 2026. And the study is designed so that it's a phase 1-2 design. It's an adaptive design that allows us to actually advance this program quite quickly towards a pivotal trial.
And will the patients in the trial be across those cancers that you mentioned?
Yeah.
Wow.
So really, we think a major development in the field of T-cell engagers. Other T-cell engagers tend to focus on one or two cancer indications. This particular product has the potential opportunity to treat up to 10 different solid tumors.
Wow.
Really amazing.
Well, and probably part of why you've had such a dizzying year in terms of business development. What do you see ahead for 2026 in terms of BD?
Yeah. I mean, I think with business development, just to tell you a little bit about our approach to business development, it's ingrained into the DNA of Repertoire. Because we're a platform company, we have a lot of opportunities to go and partner with pharma companies because we have many shots on goal. also, I think what's ingrained into our culture is that we're very collaborative. We want to work with other companies. We know it's important to gain expertise from large pharma as we're moving into the clinic. And then, of course, finally, we've been fortunate enough to bring in a lot of non-dilutive capital through our partnerships as well. So that's just how we approach it. In 2026, our goal is to expand the number of partnerships that we have, and we hope to announce a partnership in the near future.
Okay, well, stay tuned for that. But I think if you were to look at, you've got so much going on, so much data that you expect to see in this calendar year. If you were to look at 1 or 2 milestones that you are really hoping to see as the leader of this company this year, walk us through those.
Yeah, I mean, we are doing this because we want to help patients, right? So in 2026, what I'm looking forward to is to demonstrate efficacy, impact of our therapy in cancer patients, to basically provide hope for cancer patients. I think by the end of 2026, we will have demonstrated that. I cannot wait to see.
Newbar's annual letter is about, human-made miracles like what you're working on at Repertoire. If you think about the miracles in the making, that you'd like to look back 5 years, let's say, and finish the sentence that thanks to Repertoire and its team, we've eradicated this or cured that. Where do you see, what's your, your biggest dream there?
I mean, I think overall, what the promise of Repertoire and the miracle of Repertoire is that it allows us to program our immune system to attack disease, which is just in itself amazing, right? So directing our adaptive immune system towards cancer or towards autoimmune disease and specifically programming it to help patients overcome that disease, that's a miracle.
Programming the immune system to attack disease where it strikes. The miracle in the making at Repertoire Immune Medicines. Thank you so much, Torben, for joining us in the JP Morgan studio.
Thank you, Christine.